Uyadengela ngiyabekisa ukuthi bekunene kutoholwa kutelwe kutodevelopa ummango. Ngicabanga ukuthi lokho abakwekhute labafanele ikakhulu lababuka imimango naleyo misumbe konke nje netindfuno.
Siyabonga mkhulu.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Good evening and welcome to Eswatini TV News at 8. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lindo Masugu and your sign language interpreter is Zamanzi Manze. Here are the headlines. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade will soon unveil Eswatini's strategy on how the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement will be implemented. Elections and Boundaries Commission Deputy Chairperson Sipho Tembe has vowed that the long queues seen during the special voting will not be an issue during the upcoming primary elections. The Kingdom of Eswatini's raw sugar for the United States of America's market has been transported to the USA under the African Growth Opportunity Act, AGOA. Well, let's get straight into the news in detail. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade will soon unveil Eswatini's strategy on how the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement will be implemented. This was announced by the Minister for Commerce, Mangoba Khumalo, when announcing the official opening of the 2023 Eswatini International Trade Fair.
Preparations for the 2023 Eswatini International Trade Fair are at an advanced stage. Exhibitors are busy with their final preparations in their different stalls. Now that the Minister for Commerce, Mangoba Khumalo, has officially announced the 2023 Eswatini International Trade Fair, the Minister unpacks some of the functions and business seminars that will be taking place in this year's trade fair.
We will also be having a few business seminars starting on the 4th of September all the way till the 8th of September. These seminars will cover trading for the AFCFTA, will cover trading and exporting under AGOA to the US of A, and will also speak to creating youth entrepreneurship and youth business in Eswatini. We are also excited that there will be a Win a Car competition. This Win a Car competition has been sponsored by Westbank as well as Kia Motors, and they've collaborated with IPA to make this general sponsorship. For grabs, we have an SUV, a Kia Sonet, which is a high-end SUV that the lucky winner on the day will walk away with.
Another important seminar is going to be the youth seminar. The Minister says they'll be having experts who will be capacitating young people in Eswatini on how to start their own businesses. Eswatini is faced with a huge challenge of youth unemployment, just like the rest of the world. For Eswatini TV News, I am Linton Gule and Smuva Shongwe in Manzini.
The Director of Agriculture, Nelson Mavuso, says conservation agriculture is one of the climate-smart agriculture approaches that can ensure food security despite the impacts of climate change. The Director encouraged farmers to practice climate-smart agriculture.
The Food and Agricultural Organization Strategic Framework for 2022 to 2031 calls for better production, better nutrition, a better environment and a better life for all, leaving no one behind, despite the effect of climate change. The Director of Agriculture, Nelson Mavuso, advised farmers on the climate-smart agriculture approaches.
We encourage farmers to use irrigation. In terms of agriculture, of irrigation, it should be irrigation that uses less water, does not waste water when you apply it. In terms of mechanization, in terms of land preparation, one of the methods that is advocated for by the ministry is the use of minimum tillage as a method to mitigate the effects that come about as a result of the high temperatures that we're experiencing this period of the year. One of which is that during the period of December, there's usually less rainfall, which is actually associated with high temperatures that result in evapotranspiration as a major factor. So the plant, instead of being able to use the water for its physiological development.
Mochane Primary School practice climate-smart agriculture, including conservation agriculture, whereas the school agriculture teacher, Tandoguhle Mahluza, echoed the benefits of conservation agriculture.
Sibesihle kakhulu sivuno sangala ku climate smart agriculture because khona lokwendekako uyukhanzela ukuthi noma lingekelana since sifaka kakhulu imali sikavarisha everything kuvele nje only le plant ukhanza ukuthi lamandi ayacontaineka for isikhathi leside.
On another note, the Minister of Agriculture is working on the automation of agriculture in Eswatini. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Siyokoza with Simuva Shongwe and Sikumbuzo Dlamini. Babane.
Elections and Boundaries Commission Deputy Chairperson Sipho Tembe has vowed that the long queues seen during the special voting will not be an issue during the upcoming primary elections. Tembe says most of the issues that arose during the special voting would have been addressed this weekend during primary elections.
There were long queues seen during the special voting and were seemingly moving at a snail pace. The Deputy Chairperson of the Elections and Boundaries Commission, Reverend Sipho Tembe, says the issue of the long queues will not be seen during the primary elections.
Bantu bakhona ngebunyendi babo besithi nathi silungisile. Kepha ke kuphosa kwathi nje kuphadamiseke ekseni ngekubuka bukhulu besive. He adds
that there were some glitches caused by the fact that Eswatini came out in their numbers to cast their votes. He further mentions that systems are all set for the primary elections, adding that the queues that were also seen during the nominations will not occur this coming weekend. What was noted during the special voting at the Divine Healing Ministries, where Manzini region voters voted, is that the election started around 9 a.m. and that there were unverified reports that some individuals who came to vote were not under the category of those who were supposed to vote on Tuesday during the special voting. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Langamandla with Muzimkonda Divine Healing Ministries.
Different sectors of society who were part of the special voting exercise said they were happy with how it was conducted. Members of the different cadres and society say the only problem was the delay in the commencement of the voting process, as they were told there was a network problem. However, the matter was quickly resolved.
We spoke to Buhle Magongo, who is the elections officer in the Shiselweni region, who said despite having network challenges in the morning, the voting process went well. Siboniso Nhleko, the elections officer in the Lubombo region, also shared that they were able to conduct the voting as expected with minimal challenges.
Yebo kona iregion besithatha sayifaka kaManzini kodwa nje besonke siseshiselweni yebo kona kuqalaqaleke lethanyanyana ngoba sibe nawo ma hiccups lapha nalapha but nje kube sesekuyalungiseka
kuhambe kahle kakhulu elubonjeni ku special voting lengingasho ukuthi kusukela ekseni emalayini abonakele kodwa ke kubonakala kwawo siphinde sakhona nawo onke ama officials la khona on the ground manager lawo malayini.
Members of the public came out to vote and they said they are hoping that those they elected would represent them well.
Mina sengingenile sengivotile ngiyethemba naleli ngibakhethile batasiphatha kahle asakhele uhulumende wethu lomuhle.
Lengukhanzela ngekhathi ngibone ngathi khamba kahle kakhulu. Kude lokhu kabi netithombe tebahlonishwa bethu nenduna yethu yenkundla konke ku-clear nje kuyabonakala.
Sekusavoteka sesengcono sisabuka umsebenzi mkhulu live liyathuthuka.
Siyabonga nje kakhulu iBC ukuthi asinike naleli thuba thina lesingeke sikhone uyovotela le etinkundleni tethu ukuthi sikhone ukuvota. Plus ke nala ngekhathi nasongena bakwendile kwabalula for thina because bakhonile ukuthi basibide ngale tinkundla tethu kahle ukuthi singakhoni nekuthi sesiyafucana lengekhathi.
At the time of compiling this report, the elections were still ongoing and counting of votes was yet to be done. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Smuva Shongwe, Manzini.
The Supreme Court postponed to tomorrow the matter where the Elections and Boundaries Commission and the Office of the Attorney General wanted to set aside a judgment issued by the High Court where, amongst other things, the court ruled that ex-Senator Mkhululi Dlamini's name should be among those nominated for Member of Parliament under Mapilingo chiefdom.
The application was before a full bench, The application was before the full bench led by Judge Machahengaba Dlamini. The Supreme Court said it could not proceed with the matter as the judgment by the High Court, Judge Zonke Makakula, was not available. The court said it had no record of how the matter proceeded at the High Court. The High Court issued a ruling that the Elections and Boundaries Commission should hold a special nomination process at Mapilingo Mphakathi to determine the nomination of outgoing Senator Mkhululi Dlamini or include his name in the list of nominees of Member of Parliament for the same Mphakathi. EPC had gone to the court to seek an order that this ruling should be set aside. The former senator, represented by his lawyer, Mzwandile Dlamini, the legal representative, mentioned that his client was being prejudiced by the non-finalization of the case. He said this is because his client's name has not been included in the ballot paper, and others had their faces viewed by the electorate as the posters with their faces were pinned in their chiefdom. The lawyer further mentioned that his client has not been given a chance to be voted for during the special voting, which was held today. The lawyer told the court that they had no intention to stop elections under Mapilongo chiefdom, so it is important that the case is finalized as soon as possible. The Crown is represented by Bonkosi Dlamini Mbuso Dlamini, as well as Deputy Attorney General Mbuso Simelane. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, High Court.
The Kingdom of Eswatini's raw sugar for the United States of America's market has been transported to the USA under the African Growth Opportunity Act, AGOA. According to the Eswatini Sugar Association's logistics manager, Mrs. Ohlanze, the 26,000 metric tons of sugar is the Kingdom's market quota for the year 2023. Ohlanze says the return for the raw sugar is $750 per ton. Ohlanze was speaking at the sugar terminal of Maputo during the loading exercise of the cargo ship transporting the sugar to the U.S. market.
The tour then proceeded to the sugar terminal of Maputo, where it is a space where the Kingdom of Eswatini is actually sharing the space with the Republic of South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. This is basically a facility where the Kingdom of Eswatini store the raw sugar, which is then transported to the United States of America via the AGOA market. Well, reporters had the chance to be taken through the different processes from when the raw sugar gets to Maputo until it is loaded to the ship that is going straight to the United States of America. We spoke to Sibusiso Ohlanze from the Eswatini Sugar Association, who stated that the raw sugar from Eswatini is actually transported via the rail and road.
There's only one cargo layer US every year, which you've got a reporter.
They explained that SACU is actually the biggest market for Eswatini sugar. Sugar industry in Eswatini employs 16,000 people and contributes 10% of the gross domestic product. Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Maputo.
Security chiefs were part of their special voting exercise which took place in Manzini on Tuesday. Speaking at Manzini Central High School during the voting exercise, the security chiefs say they visited the voting stations because they wanted to vote and further ensure peace and security.
Security chiefs say their mandate is to ensure smooth elections that are free from any violent acts. Apart from casting their vote, the security chiefs said they had to personally visit the voting stations in Manzini to get first-hand information on how the special voting was going.
Lekusijabulisa bekunene sive siphume ngetinkani kakhulu tonke tisebenti tahulumende tema forces tiphume tinkani titokhetsa nalokuthi ke kuthulile kude nje umsindvo kuthulile tonke into ihamba kahle.
Sijabulile makasinika lithuba sinesebenta emsebentini la sikhanze ukuthi sibabhizi ngemalanga onke wasasinika ilanga lamhla sitokhona ukuthi sikhethe sakhe live lethu kusukumise ngiko lo sitawukhetha awusengenti nami ngibuya kiseshiselweni emphakathi wasenhlejeni.
They expressed their appreciation over the manner in which the voting process has been conducted. They further said they will ensure peace and security throughout the election processes. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Smova Shongwe, Manzini.
Inmates under the His Majesty's Correctional Services showed excitement on Tuesday as they took part in the 2023 general elections through the special voting. There are over 1,000 inmates who registered to vote.
The Elections Act of 2013, with its amendments, states that the Elections and Boundaries Commission, EBC, is permitted to hold special votings for those who are eligible to vote. On Tuesday, eligible inmates at His Majesty's Correctional Services showed excitement, queued to cast their votes, echoing the 2023 general elections slogan saying, "Ngetengasala nasakhalive letfu." The United Nations Mandela Rule also emphasized on inclusive development, not forgetting elections participation for all. The special voting process was conducted in all the 12 correctional facilities of the country, including the Manzini Remand Center and the Vulamasango School. The Elections and Boundaries Commission, EBC, says over 1,200 inmates registered to vote, whereas His Majesty's Correctional Services says there are 3,800 inmates and 516 children at Vulamasango School. The Correctional Services Act, with the country's constitution, says all inmates are eligible to vote except for those who are serving life sentences. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Suekoza with visuals from His Majesty's Correctional Services.
And now let's take a look at the financial indicators.
Standard Bank. It can be.
This sports update is proudly brought to you by eBet. Join our family of winners by visiting us today at ebet.co.sz. eBet, born to win.
And in our sports roundup, we begin with Momo voting update, as now the 28 teams of the Premier League and National First Division respectively have accumulated over 57.7 million votes, with closing date less than a month away. Defending champions Nginzini Hotspurs are leading the way with over 11 million votes so far.
We begin our sports roundup with the Momo voting system that has hit over 57.7 million votes from all the 28 teams under the Premier League and the National First Division respectively. The defending champions Nginzini Hotspurs are leading the race with over 11 million votes, followed by Monane Pirates. The big three, being Mbabane Swallows, are fifth, followed by Manzini Wanderers, who are sixth, while Mbabane Highlanders are seventh. The deadline of voting will be on the 18th of September, with the finals being played on the 30th the same month. Moving on to dance sport, the association is confident that indeed the sport will soon get its full attention despite the COVID-19 disturbance in the recent years. The association's president, Samim Sibi, speaking during a social event that gathered different dancers in the country at Checkers in Babani. Msibi says it was high time the sport regained momentum by hosting tournaments regularly.
We have had quite a number of activities trying to revive the sport, Zvagashele teams, and the event just like today is a social dance of Gutsi, all the dancers coming from all over the country ahlanganela Mbabane kuto dansa nebadansi baseMbabane, so that we can try to push the sport. But nje tinhlelo tefesinato nje kulamalanga is ukuthi we are looking at workshops ethu lapho khona sifuna ukuqeqesha abo coach so that stokhona ku spread wings.
And in our international news, Sha'Carri Richardson is the champions of the 100 meters of the World Athletic Championships in Hungary under the women's category. At the games that are being held in Budapest, after just using 10.6 seconds to win a gold medal, with Jamaican Sharika Jackson becoming second to win a silver medal. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
The Sports was proudly brought to you by eBet. Don't hesitate. Visit us today at ebet.co.sz. eBet, born to win.
All right, that's how we reach the end of tonight's bulletin. But before we leave, here's a reminder of the headlines. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade will soon unveil Eswatini's strategy on how the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement will be implemented. Elections and Boundaries Commission Deputy Chairperson Sipho Tembe has vowed that the long queues seen during the special voting will not be an issue during the upcoming primary elections. The Kingdom of Eswatini's raw sugar for the United States of America's market has been transported to the USA under the African Growth Opportunity Act, AGOA. Well, that's it from us. Thank you so much for watching. From all of us here at the Eswatini TV News team, it's good night.
Libandla letela ukhefo nemingcele iEBC latisa sive semaswati ukuthi mhla ka26 Ingci 2023 lilanga lelibekelwe sigaba selukhetfo lekuqala. Kuleti gaba sive sidabe sikhetha labaqhuzelana kuba indvuna yenkundla noma kuba lilunga leParliamente emiphakatsini yabo. Tikhungo tekuvota titawuvulwa ngensimbi yesikhombisa kutsi made kube insimbi yesikhombisa ntsambama. Sive siyacelwa ukuthi sikhumbule kuphatha bomatisi baso siphinde sigcine nesikhathi.
Livoti lami libalulekile futhi alithengiswa. Ngede ngasala nasakha live lethu.
At Hi-Fi Corp, we know it's a big deal when you shop this Orion 50-inch UHD Smart LED TV for a low 5,499, save 2,000. Or the Asus X515 Celeron N4020 laptop for 5,999, save 500. Or the Hisense 223-liter metallic fridge freezer for 5,999, save 600. Price is valid until 28 August 2023. T's and C's apply. Hi-Fi Corp, your #1 deal destination.